We're going to be sharing 4 tips that really helped us to let go of our home. Well, I shouldn't say let go because we haven't officially let go yet. We could still change our minds and pull the for sale sign off of our lawn, but it's probably not going to happen at this point. We have 4 tips for you guys that have really helped us mentally and emotionally be able to detach from our home and all of our belongings as well. And it's been a really, really emotional and really challenging process that surprised us because we're so excited about the idea to do this lifestyle and to sell everything and move into an RV full time. So we thought that that excitement would pull us through all and skip all of the emotional baggage that happened in between, but it really didn't.
No. And so the hardest part too is just like, you have all these emotions with all the experience you had in this house. And then you have this limbo waiting period while your house is for sale, where you're like, okay, I have this like future version of a life that I want, but then I'm also going to miss the old version of life that I had. And like, now I'm in this limbo time, which is, that's the part that has been really tough for me.
Talks about how hard it actually is to let go and sell your house, whether it's your dream home or your first home or anything in between that. It's really hard to let go of something that holds so much memories, so many milestones and moments of your whole life. Like maybe you've raised your family there, or you got married there, or whatever it is, you bought your dream home. Like that's what happened to us. We thought it was going to be our forever home.
Yeah, so we bought our dream home 7 years ago, and we thought this was going to be our forever home. There were times we were like, we're literally never going to move anywhere else because it checks every single box we could ever have. Absolutely, and here we are 7 years later thinking, oh my God, we're actually going to do this. And now there's all these memories that we created over the years, and it's not easy.
And not to mention, we've put so much time and money into renovating it and making it into exactly what we've always wanted it to be. So to part ways with that, or to even consider parting ways with that, it has been the most difficult part of the process, I would say.
Absolutely. Hey guys, we're Chad and Rebecca, and we're selling our dream home so that we can move into an RV and live in it full time.
Yeah, so it's been quite the process. Right now, our home is currently for sale. We're in that whole process of downsizing, decluttering, doing our research, planning, figuring out how this whole thing is going to work. So if you are excited to join us in our journey and excited to learn all of our tips and tricks, then please hit the subscribe button, comment down below, let us know where you're from.
We'd love to hear about it. I'm wearing a Colorado shirt, not because I'm from Colorado. We are Canadian, but we love Colorado. A lot of our RV travels are going to bring us to Colorado, Utah, Arizona. Stay tuned. We got a lot of excited videos to come.
So hit the subscribe button and follow us on our journey, because we're going to have so many helpful tips and tricks for you. And you're going to want to stay around until the end of the video, because the 4th tip is the most helpful and was the one that created the most clarity for us to feel like this decision is the actual right decision for us.
Yeah, and it's so important in life with decisions that you make that you actually sleep on them. You think them through. You don't make decisions on a whim. I say that because I used to be that person. I would make irresponsible decisions very often in my early days. Decisions, they should be thought out, thoroughly taken care of and researched, so that I can come to the right conclusion.
Tip number 1 is to honor the stage that you're currently at right now in the process. Be in the present moment, which is very much easier said than done a lot of the time. And to not rush the process that you're at and not rush the goodbye part of it, because it's so important to feel all of the emotions, talk about the emotions, really work through them, because going from just selling your house directly into an RV and skipping all of that stuff in the middle is going to create more issues. And you might actually feel regret once you're in the RV, because you're like, did I make the right decision? I didn't really have a lot of time to process anything. And so it's really important to not rush the process and to really hold a lot of gratitude for what the house brought to you. Like, it obviously brought lots of memories, milestones, all of the things. I know for us, one of our favorite memories, and a lot of our family and friends' favorite memories, is our annual Christmas party that we always throw, because we have an indoor pool. So at Christmas time in Canada, when it's cold and snowy outside, we heat up our indoor pool to a very high temperature so it's enjoyable. And we have a whole beautiful party, and we have musician friends that come over, set up a whole concert in our living room.
Not going to be able to do that anymore. And so these are some beautiful memories. And so while we're in
Yeah.
this transitionary period where a home is for sale right now, it's so important. We're dealing with anxiety. Everybody has anxiety when you're in that sort of area where you don't know and you're kind of
It's the
nervous and you're
unknown.
excited and it's a little balance of everything, the unknown. And so it's so important to have grace and gratitude and just really reflect on like,
Yeah.
there's going to be a time where we're going to be in an RV full time and we will think back to, oh, remember those last few months where we were just so excited about the next version of ourselves that we didn't actually take the time to enjoy the last few months of having an actual home. So don't try to rush the process because that could do more harm than good, I think.
Yeah, and it is so much easier said than done, because for us it's been some moments where we're like, oh, we just wish we were in the RV right now, and then other moments where we're like, is this really the right decision? Like, I can't believe we renovated our dream home and now we're gonna freaking sell it. But it is like that back and forth, and it's so important to bring yourself back and stay grounded in the process and just go through each room in your house, spend some time in there, enjoy the space, and reflect on some of your favorite memories that you've had in the house and talk about it. And, work through all of the emotions that come up as part of that. Maybe do some journal and write down what your favorite moments are in the house so that you can bring that with you in the RV and reflect on it when you miss it at some point. Because it's natural to miss things, right? So it's really important to recognize that and to not rush the process. Which brings me to number 2, which is document your house before you leave it and before you pack up all of your belongings. So it was really important for us. We were really excited when we listed our house for sale to work with our real estate agent to get the professional photos done of our house, not just for the listing, but for us to
The
have
memory,
for the
yeah.
keepsake of it, right? Beautiful photos. And so those are going to serve as really nice memories to have as we move into our next chapter together of our dream home that we had and we sold.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are the things that we're just kind of taking it day by day, trying to live in the moment. It's super difficult though. Like, think about when
Yeah.
you get like a new job or you're looking for new employment, like you're kind of like not really excited about your current job and you want to
No.
just like
Yeah.
throw it away. And many times you have to keep working a job for a couple of months before you find a new one and like the whole thing, right? With the house, it's easy to be like, oh, like I just want to get on the road and I don't want, but like I said, there's going to be a time where you're like, man, that last few months, like I wish I would have just, it's like the whole adage of when someone's on their deathbed, and it's like, I wish I would have just spent more time with my family, being present more, not go, go, go. Like life is so precious. And I feel like so many times we're always on to the next, at least for me. And I
Mhm.
don't take enough time. Like I'm guilty of this where I need to stop in the moment and have some grace and gratitude. It's not easy for me.
Absolutely. And I think too, it helps when you reflect back on a point in your life where, like, maybe you got your first apartment, or you moved out on your own for your first time and you were so excited, but then you were also thinking about, like, one day my dream home will be like X, Y, and Z and all of the things, right? When you think about that and then you are constantly in that mindset, it takes you out of that current moment that you're in. And you're always like kind of projecting into the future or reflecting on the past. And it's really detrimental to the only moment that you really truly have, which is the present moment right now. And I know it's easier said than done, but we've really gotten into a lot of the Eckhart Tolle teachings of being present, and we've read his books and we love all of his stuff that he's into. And he's really helped us learn in such a hustle and grind mentality and culture that we live in how to take a step back and really just be present with ourselves and where we're at. And it's helped tremendously.
Yeah, and as former business owners, we were all about the future,
Oh,
sales
yeah.
projections,
Hustle,
Q1,
grind,
Q2, the
everything.
whole grind before we got rid of our successful $1 million bakery business. And so now it's difficult to like rewire your brain to be like,
Yeah, big
I can just
time.
chill now. I don't have to be overwhelmed
Yeah.
and looking to put out fires and be stressed and everything else. I can just breathe and enjoy the moment, and I don't have to worry about all these things. And so that's what I think is part of the lesson in all this for us while we're going through
Yeah,
this limbo phase with the house for sale, waiting to get in the RV full time,
exactly.
is to practice that now because life's going to be slower. It's going to be nicer. We don't need to rush any of this. It's going to happen when it's meant to happen.
Right. And it's not about not working, or working so hard until you hit retirement. Like, if you've read my book Wake Up and Smell the Coffee, you'll know that I talk about how retirement is not the end goal here. That is just something made up by society to keep you in the hustle and grind of everything. It's like a reward for putting in all of this time and sacrificing your time, which is your most valuable asset, in hopes that you get to retirement. But the reality is, not everybody makes it to retirement, and they die before then because of X, Y, and Z reasons. A lot of it has to do with the stress that kind of hustle and grind culture, unfortunately, puts onto people, and it's not healthy. But we really want to show you guys that you can live a simpler life, a lower cost living, a more free life, a full of travel and adventure and memories. And you can still work remotely and find work that is actually enjoyable to do and doesn't feel like, oh man, I can't wait to get done this job so I can retire and actually be free one day. Like, for us, we're going to want to work through retirement. Like, there's not going to be a retirement. How many times you hear of people who have retired and then they're depressed and they're bored because they have nothing to do now? We're just, as humans, we want something to do, but we want our work to be meaningful and purposeful. And that takes intention to do that and to change what you're currently doing if it's not serving you and not making you feel happy and fulfilled.
Absolutely. So we're still going to be working remotely, still going to be, doing everything that everyone typically does. It's just not going to be in an actual office. It'll be in our RV. And so we're going to travel more. We're going to have time in the evenings after work to just go on beautiful hikes. Weekends, we're going to be there. We're going to spend lots of time in different places. It's going to be really exciting. And we've learned from other people that move consistently in this RV life. Every couple of weeks, it's like, that's a lot, right? You got to keep up on that. It kind of weighs on you. And so we've done that in former travels. So we know that, like, we're just going to stay in a spot, really soak it all in, not have to rush, spend at least a couple months there so we can really, take it all in. And then also the longevity of your RV is extended by doing that too, which is really cool.
Tip number 3 is to focus on your why and why you decided to make this change, or maybe why you're considering it if you haven't made an actual decision yet. Think about the reason for doing that. What does it mean when you're willing to give up this life that you currently live? One of my favorite quotes by Brianna West is that your new life is going to cost you your old life. I love that quote so much because it is so true. And you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up in order to live this new life that you desire to have? And so making your why the forefront and a constant reminder of why you're doing this. And your why might be different than our why, but our why is more freedom, more flexibility, more travel, more adventure, more outdoors. That's pretty much our why.
Absolutely. And so Rebecca and I have done so much traveling our entire relationship. Like, we have an entire wall when you walk into our house, which we're selling, that has all these beautiful pictures from all over the world. We've done so much traveling. And so what better way to do the traveling often combined with life together? Like, that's the why. And so another why for me is that I have one life to live. And after, hustling and grinding, as a business owner, 4 store locations, managing 20 staff for many years, it is absolutely imperative for me now to just focus on what really matters in life, which is more experiences, less stress, still having a drive for work. Like, we're still going to be working remotely, still doing what you got to do. There's still bills that'll need to be paid, but,
food that will
need to be eaten, right? And races as a runner that'll need to be signed up for that aren't cheap, and new shoes to run in. So anyway, that's still going to be the reality. But the cool thing is we're going to be in these environments where we don't have to just wait for that 1 or 2 week vacation per year. We can just, right when we sign out of work, we can just go on an amazing hike through the Appalachian Mountains if we wanted to, or the Colorado Mountains. But yeah, so we're really excited about that. And that's our why. We don't have to wait until 10, 20, 30 years from now. We're healthy, we're active, we're ready to do it. And yeah, if we do it in a responsible way, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can absolutely adopt this lifestyle. And now I want to point something out. We're not naive too, like it's all going to be travel and excitement and nothing is going to be stressful. There's still going to be stress. I understand things break down, things are going to happen unexpectedly. Like, that's life. But I've talked about this before. If you're in a good mindset and you're doing things that you love day in and day out, and then stress stuff happens,
it'll override
you're like, whatever. I'm in a good mood.
You're
I
in a
got
better
this. The mental health
space.
is on point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so true. Because when you're in a better space, you're able to make better decisions. You're able to problem solve more efficiently, right? Think about it. If you're in a constant state of stress from your job or your family life or whatever, and a problem arises, you're like, fuck, like now
It's the
what?
last
Like
thing I
it's
want to deal with.
overwhelming, right? Because you're already in a state of like, I can't even handle my life right now, let alone the fact that my car won't start and I have to go get to work, right? Like when you start to compound on top of crappy situations like that and you're not in a good space yourself, it is like a mental breakdown waiting to happen. So if you can put yourself in a state of ease and freedom and happiness and contentment majority of the time, problems are going to keep coming, but you're going to be able to respond to them from a better mindset. Our last and final tip, number 4, that I was telling you about, that is actually the most important point of this entire video, is recognizing that we don't actually own anything in this life. Okay. We as human beings do not own a damn thing.
You rent everything.
Everything
Even when you think
is
you
a
own it,
rental.
it's rented.
Yeah, everything. Your home, even though they like to, the society likes to convince you of home ownership, or, you know, you own your car, but it's like, no, when you're living your life as a human being and a human experience, everything in your life is temporary. It's all on loan until you die and somebody else inherits your stuff, gets your stuff. And I write about this in my book, Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. So if this hits home for you in any way, go grab a copy of my book. It has changed my life significantly. And it was something that really helped me go from a very materialistic mindset to being able to learn detachment and freedom.
Even if you own something financially, like you don't actually have a debt on it, eventually, like I said, it's on rent. Like she said, it's on rent, because as you at some point downsize, as you pass away, as you move on, it's then going to move on to somebody else.
Yeah.
So you don't actually own anything. So this attachment that we have with material possessions, it's such a problem.
It's
Whereas
an
if you think about,
illusion.
it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Where you think about experiences, you know, that's not where society can make money off you. And that's why it's not promoted as much as material items. And so we're all about experiences. Those things are going to pay you dividends in memories over and over again, which is what we love.
Yeah. And so one of the hardest things for me to detach from was actually my home. And that's an experience that I write about in my book as well. And I wrote my book before I even decided that we were going to do this RV lifestyle. I wrote it from a perspective of like, my home was my most valuable asset. I'm an introvert. I love to spend a lot of my time, free time, at home in my quiet space, and it's so beautiful. I actually had a situation where I ended up sick in the hospital. It's like the stereotypical cliche story of like, oh, when you're sick and you might die, then you feel like you appreciate things. And then things like start to really hit you in reality. And you realize that, oh, I could have gone to the hospital and I could have never got to come home. And then I was like, well, what happens when that happens? Somebody else is going to own my home. And then I couldn't even come to terms with that thought. So I was like, well, it really bothered me for months and months after I was able to luckily come home from the hospital. But it bothered me for a good period of time. And I knew when it was bothering me that I needed to do some serious like healing or work on myself, because I knew it was an unhealthy relationship and attachment to a material thing that would only get worse and perpetuate over time as I'm continuing to age and get closer to biological death, as we all are. And it's really important to learn how to detach from material things for that reason. And what really helped me begin that process was sharing my home with others and opening it up to Airbnb people or home exchange, which was my favorite, and trading homes with people from all over the world. And it was really, really helpful to make it feel like my home wasn't mine and I was able to share it with other people. And I think through that process is what really helped me be able to be like, well, I don't own anything. I'm just going to sell it and move into an RV.
We're renting here. People are going to rent our house. We're going to rent an RV. Like I said, everything is on loan. It's all about getting out there, having great experiences, and learning through the process. And you're still going to be dealing with life. Things are going to break down. Things are going to happen. You're going to be stressed. It's no different whether you're in a home, in an RV. Like, that's life. And I would much rather do life in a happier mindset. Yeah, and creating memories and exploring and all the things that come along with living that lifestyle, and being aware of what you're trading for what, right? Because for us, we're trading our material things for more time and freedom, which is our most valuable asset anyway. Don't move. Don't move one smidge.
Stop it.